छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन है छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन
Oh, there we are. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Welcome, welcome. This is G, and we are doing live readings. So we've had quite a few people yesterday who I did not get a chance to take care of. So here we are today, going to try to pick back up again. And we go by the order of which you show up in the chat. So it's me. You are first. Welcome. Give me one word of what you want me to focus on, or I'm going to tell you what just kind of jumps out at me. Let's see. Let me get your chart drawn up here. Have you seen your chart before? That's going to be kind of a biggie to make sure that this is the accurate chart for you. All right. So we have September 20th, 1965. What a cool name. How do you say that? Namira? All right, let's get the digits in here. Gotta find the numbers. September 20th, 1965. Excellent. You got a birth time. All right. So how this works, you show up in the chat. You got to get your name in the queue there, right? That chat is the queue. And you let me know your digits, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. Yeah, I need the location and the birth time. If you don't have a birth time, instead of guessing, make sure you let me know. I don't know my birth time. That's a pretty big deal. So your 4 a.m., is that like, did somebody tell you that time, or was that like a documented time? You know, like birth certificate. Kaliro. Okay, I can do this. Let me put this up a little bit. There we go. I can see better with a little bit more light. Okay. Oh, Lord. What's going on with the emoji? Oh, Lord. What? All right. So. All right. So we do this every week. Every other Saturday on the channel, we do this as well. But on the weekdays, at least one day a week, and sometimes more, like this week. I just got to check the spelling on this. Sometimes the software, if it's not spelled right, it just gives me grief. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with for you. Let's see. It's telling me, it's giving me a hard time. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Hold on. I thought I had it spelled right. Let's see. Okay, this is what it's coming up with. You tell me if it's you, and if you don't know, then make sure you tell me that too. Not everybody has their stuff memorized. I get that. Ascendant, rising sign, 15 degrees of Leo. That's what they're showing me. September 20th, 1965, 4 a.m. in Cairo. I don't know how to pronounce that. Uganda. All right. So this is a Virgo sun at 26 degrees and a moon in Cancer at 17 degrees. This shows your moon in your 12th house. It's on the certificate. Very good. Okay. Oh, she knows her chart. Awesome. Is this your chart? Let me get my phone sometimes. Sometimes things get weird on the live stream. Oh. All right, let me get to the thing. I got to find the, there we go. So I can see just in case for chats aren't. There we go. So I can see oh, we don't need all that. I just need the chat. In case you're chatting to me and I don't hear you. Sometimes that happens. Okay, here we go. So, hey, Donna, how the heck are you doing? Healing readings. So it's me, Namira, Leo Ascendant 15. That's you? That's right? I just want to verify before I begin. I started reading a chart yesterday and I could have swore they said multiple times it was the correct chart. And then as I'm reading it, it's like, no, this isn't the right chart. So I'm looking for that confirmation. Yes, that's your sun sign. Yes, that's your moon. Yes, that's your ascendant. Okay, so let me go ahead and save you in my system. And let's see what we can see. Okay, so your Virgo energy. Yeah, so you just got through a thing, your nodes, right? You just got through a thing. You had the nodal nodes squaring your nodes, and that talks about your soul's goals. Talks about being on the path of what your soul wants for you. Yours is going to be about, well, your North Node is in the career area of your life. This is professional partnerships, communication, talking, boss energy, authority figure. This energy can be multitasker, but usually tends to be quite scattered. The focus is the future. So now you just went through this nodal square, and that would have created some stress and tension. And sometimes it says, I might even be changing my job. And it would have affected home as well. Maybe even feeling more, since you're a Saggy in that South Node there in the 4th house, these folks can sometimes feel like that home is on the road, or that their home isn't where they live, or living maybe even far away from home. But learning, teaching, preaching, spirituality, the occult, even, like all of that is going to be like very emotionally satisfying. But partnerships, you've got number 7 there. So partnerships, so whether it's the partnership with the divine, partnership with that higher knowledge, higher wisdom, the bigger picture to life, but home, property, even home, family, property, mom, strong feminine energy here. So you had some stress and tension going on with that. Now that that's moved on, you're going to have where the nodes are going to end up being in Leo energy, and that doesn't take too long to happen. So over time, you'll have the node on your ascendant, and having it in your 5th house now is my appearance, my body, my health. And it was your Virgo energy that was, for whatever reason, the first thing that really jumped out, and values. And so because if this is your chart, look at this, right? Pluto and Uranus sitting right on your values, your income. So that means there's different, unique, different ways of making money. Something deeply transformative, meaning it's got to be deeply meaningful. It can't just be, some, I don't know, just some crazy stuff. It's got to be something that has value, but in a deep way, like in a soulful way, not just the surfacey crap. And Virgo is all about service. Who am I helping? Who am I assisting? How can I make things better? Virgo thinks it's like the fixer. But I actually love the Virgo energy because it truly does figure out how, in practical, non-flashy, very mundane type of ways how to provide something, how to provide a service. So these are like our caregivers. These are the people who might do the little things, right? The cleaning, the organizing, but like the laundry, the cooking of food, the buying of food. Yeah, like, yeah, nurses, big time. These are the people who pay attention to the little things that really mean a whole lot, that are very important things. So all of this then likely pertaining to yourself and your own health and well-being. And with the Uranus and that Pluto sitting there, nerves can be affected with Uranian energy, my mind, but values. Pluto energy is talking about changes and change constantly being a thing. Now, because this is a strong Mercury thing, because it's ruled and you've got tons of Virgo energy, and even your freaking Mercury is there, and it's a Mercury at a Scorpio degree. Again, this emphasizes the soul's energy. It emphasizes more Pluto energy as well, which is like deep, below the surface stuff, deeply psychological as well, meaning connecting some of those lower currents, those things, those lower undercurrents of the practical, tangible world and the everyday routines. So work and health is included, and a combination here for you. Now, because your sun is also in Virgo, there's something there about being the recognition and the standing out, but in more of, like I said, the uh, yeah, I don't know, this might sound crazy, like Jesus washing the feet of people, like somebody who provides a service, but who does something that's so simple, so mundane, but yet it's quite symbolic. You follow? I believe that's kind of what that meant. If it means more than that for you, then great, run with it. So with the nodes, what's going to happen is you're going to have the nodes. Right now they're at 5 degrees, and they literally today just got here at 5, as did Pluto. I'm sorry, Pluto's here at 5, but Pluto literally an hour ago just began its retrograde. Seriously. So this is the sun energy. It's creative intellect. It's how I stand out. And look at here, let me do this for you real quick. Let me turn this off. Let me go back to this. Look what you have here at 5:31. This is where the Pluto retrograde is beginning, and this is Pallas Athena. She's the strategist, really intelligent. She has like superior ways of thinking outside the box. Creative thinker, creative strategizer. So she's got it in that Aquarian energy, which is unbelievably inventive. Inventive, never been done before, super unique and original energy. Very much about I'm the authority figure. So now this Aquarian energy and the connection to Mercury, because Virgo's all about Mercury energy, and Pluto was sitting here on this. Yeah, maybe that's what brought you here today, right? There's something there with the Aquarius that is absolutely science and thinking of the future and astrology, but Pluto being, I need to make a change in the house of health and work and day-to-day routines. Okay. Aquarian energy in the 6th house might be tricky as well, because you have Aquarius, Uranus's ruler over here, the upsets, the disruptions, the out of the blue, this kind of, where does this come from? Whatever that might be, can be different health things. Virgo's usually stomach issues, digestion and stuff like that. But then even the work, literally my job, my job. So with all that said, and Pluto being here, I feel like if we look over to your, let me see, your Taurus. Yeah. You have right here Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn point in Taurus, which is where Pluto was angling. You're thinking about your future. For female energy, looking for masculine energy, this might be authority figure. This might be spouse. We're thinking about my future in the long term as far as my values. So it can be work, but it can also be who I would be willing to make a commitment to. You have Taurus at your midheaven there, and this is somebody who's thinking about desires, love, who and what do I crave? And your Venus is in Scorpio. So we know what you crave. Venus is in Scorpio. Deeply bonded energy. It's in Scorpio. I want to have the bonds on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, energetic, like it goes back deep, and it talks about history. So communication, being able to communicate about deep things, and then even taking action with those things, because you got the power of Mars there. Mars is strong. It's in its home placement. So for you, there's a combination happening here. And I think with that combo, um, the deep transformation and change, you're still on that journey. It's not over because Pluto's retrograding. It started here at your Pallas Athena. It's going to go backwards. It's not going to land on your 1 degree partnership. It goes back only to about 3 degrees and then it goes forward again. But it's a process. So you're not making, Pluto's not a fast mover. It's slow. It's methodical. It's slow. It changes us at a really deep psychological level. So you're just in the process of like marinating. You follow? Or something is marinating. We're letting it sit with us for a while before we make our decisions, but you have the power of your Pallas Athena. So that's super, I think that's super great. Pallas Athena is there. And so she's helping you to strategize. And I think that's powerful. Powerful. And it can take you a very long way in terms of taking the next correct steps. Okay, so let me see. Anybody else here in this chat? Anybody? Anybody? I've got some people watching who don't want to be in the chat. Maybe we just want to watch. Maybe it's just that kind of a day. There was a few people. Donna, are you? I know Donna, you might be working. Donna, are you here? Do you want a reading? Donna dropped in real quick. She might have had to leave. Oh yeah, Venus. Yes. With that Venus, it's about intensity in Scorpio. And so the love and the reciprocation, it demands that back. So the only thing that's tricky about, well, I shouldn't say the only thing. There's always a lot of tricky stuff. What's tricky about it is that if it might not realize that not everybody can reciprocate that level of intensity. You follow? And it may feel as though, well, that's my love language. So therefore, if nobody else has that, or if they're not reciprocating in that way, then that means they don't love me. Not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. This is just a very strong desire. This is even attachment energy, just so you know. Like anybody with Scorpio energy, it's important that they understand that Scorpio is about deep attachments. And the ultimate lesson with the Scorpio energy is really about learning to balance that, to like find a recalibration and to balance it. So it's powerful. And if we're not aware of it, it can be some tricky stuff to navigate. Okay. So anybody, I think, let me check the email. Some people are probably like, I think I sent you an email. Okay, let's see. I'm in a meeting. Oh, okay. I see. Oh, wait a minute. Who is this? I'm checking my emails. Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay, so so there's a minute. Okay, so no worries. Yeah, I was trying to catch up on people that we didn't get to yesterday, which is totally fine. I'm just trying to. I think someone else just sent me. Okay, I don't understand that. See you soon. All right, well, let's hang out and see what happens. We'll give it a little bit more time. See if there's anyone else that needs a reading. If not, yeah, you are welcome. Yeah, and some folks with that Scorpio energy, they you have the blessing of Neptune being in Scorpio too. Some people may see that that's not a blessing because it can be tricky, can be confusing, but it can also bring about great understanding with that Scorpio energy. It can be both. What's the word? Paradox. Yeah, it can be both. Okay. Everyone's like, gee, we're working. And that's not a problem. Yeah, what the hell, right? So your Pallas Athena, since I don't see anybody else's digits, what the hell? Let's do it. Let's go back. Is she still there? Oh, yeah, your chart's okay, great. All right, so here she is. There's your Pallas Athena. Super. She's like, I feel like she's the supreme strategist in this Aquarius energy. Because Aquarius is intellect, but it's creative intellect. And so having a creative beast there, Pallas Athena, I think that's phenomenal. Talks about brilliance, right? Because it's a like in your chart, especially with the connection right now to your Mercury and to your Virgo energy. Anytime we mix Mercury and Aquarius energy together, we're talking like, yeah, brilliant. The word brilliant, rocket scientist, I usually say, right? But original and insightful, talks about being able to quickly grasp new ideas and able to apply them to the future. Now, the Aquarius energy is also really independent energy. How do I gain freedom? How am I the authority of my own life? Just the boss, basically. And this could be somebody who's the boss at the job as well, who has positions of authority. Um, Pallas Athena can also talk about being, because Aquarius is quite rebellious. So that she might even be figuring out ways where she can fight for her ideals. This is very humanitarian energy. It's about the group, right? We think of great creations that just never got off the ground until somebody else came along and figured out how to monetize them. And then once they monetized them, right, even though it would have been something that would have helped all of humanity. But yeah, like free electricity, you know, utilizing right? Like solar energy is brand new, right? No, the sun's been there since forever, but you get the right tools and you can tap into it for free. But yeah, politics, political causes, Aquarius energy. The Aquarian energy at the 5 degrees for your Pallas Athena specifically is another vibration that screams creative. Now, this can also be like romance as well, by the way, whenever we see the number 5, but it just adds more creative energy, more intellectual energy. This can also have to do with children. Children, fun, creativity, and romance. May even be a little bit on the fun and laughter side and how to be unique and have a good time. But the Pallas, she's talks about the way in which we perceive things, creative intelligence. She typically can be way more mental than emotional, especially in detached Aquarius energy. So she may even strike a balance for you with Venus at 7. You see, Venus, who's very attached, where Pallas Athena's detached. You see, and your Pallas Athena trines your North Node in Gemini, which talks about relationships, significant one-on-one relationships, business for sure, business partnerships, trade. This can be teaching, of course, sales. 7 degrees, though, partnerships likely can be professional partnerships or anything you're willing to commit to for a long period of time. That's that Pallas Athena energy. So in terms of in thinking about that North Node and the goals for the future, yeah, and the fact that Pallas Athena trines that. Remember when I said about she's kind of scattered? So there, you might find yourself kind of switching gears because that Gemini energy's got such curiosity, such curiosity. It talks about, yeah, constantly a thirst for learning. And so learning and teaching kind of go hand in hand, but maybe even, surrendering to here's the thing with the Sag South Node, they think they know everything. I'm just being honest. It's not me pointing finger at you. It's the Sagittarius energy because we've got this history of being quite knowledgeable, being like even scholarly, right? And so if that was our South Node, that was our superpower. But in this time, it's more of we're doing the North Node thing, right? Because you've already done there. You've already been there and done that. So now this says, can I be the student? Can I surrender, whether it's the ego or whatever, and the pride to say, okay, but I'm the student and I'm open to learning. And especially, yeah, how much do we learn when we teach? Right. So it's sometimes leaning towards wanting the big picture or truths and clinging to fixed beliefs. But this lifetime encourages you to embrace flexibility and the art of gathering information. But remember, it also talks about the focus on writing and speaking, teaching, but like zeroing in. So creativity, partnerships, and figuring out what that's going to look like for yourself. So Gemini qualities, adaptability and communication, lighthearted, versatile, It does lack depth, but I don't think that's going to be an issue for you whatsoever. Sharing and learning is a big deal with that North Node, and your Pallas Athena supports that big time. Yes. Oh yeah, being creative with children would make sense because you've got it there. You've got it there. She supports that. And not only that, but Gemini energy talks about school children, teachers and school children type of energy as well. Mhm. Now, that comment that you just made, I think you said something about, yeah, you have Saturn. You have a retrograde Saturn over there in that 7th house energy. And that can be tricky. That can be real tricky because it usually creates delays, slow down, heavy, burdensome, and it's in Pisces. So, because it's in that 7th house, it's partnership energy. And sometimes people find that it delays significant one-on-one relationships. Or if they do, or if they are in a relationship, usually they're with somebody that might, be older. So whether they're chronologically older, something about them is older. So it could be their appearance. It could just be, yeah, because you've got it, the Saturn and the Pisces energy. So that speaks of like spiritual work. That speaks of doing work that could even have to do with, I don't want to say the word religion, but do you know what I mean? It's more about, it's the big picture. It's about the acceptance. It's about unity. It's about oneness. It's about like that divine energy and connecting in with it in prayer and meditation, but also like healing institutions, and even government type of energy. It could have to do with that. But you've got a lot of stuff that speaks to service one-on-one and doing a good job at it because the Virgo has such an eye for detail. It's crazy. It's super crazy. But you got this really beautiful trine to your midheaven with Mercury trining that 19 degrees Taurus. So that to me is a big benefit. You have a lot of strong earth. I think people who have a lot of strong earth or have the ability to be stable in some ways. When other people's lives are falling apart. Even this kind of energy, a lot of different things can happen. But if you have the stability of that earth energy, there's some things that kind of, even though everything seems to change, there's still that stable, that sense of underlying peace and groundedness. So that's a benefit. Let's see. So let me move on real quick here. Let me see. Am I reading anybody else? I got some people spill over from yesterday that we didn't get to. So we're going to try to get to, let me see if anybody else, and if not, then I'm out. Then I got things to do. I'm just trying to help some folks out. Somebody else already said they're in a meeting until like a couple hours from now, so they can't make it, which is fine. Hello. Hi, I'm new. Hey, Zybor AC. If you want your reading, put your digits in and we can do that. Hey, can you check out my chart? I can. April, I got you in my system. All right. So let me check this out. If I got you in my system, we can pull it up. If not, put your digits in the chat or send them to the email. It's on scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And April, I'm sorry, I don't remember if I have you in my system. I don't remember. Yes, I believe. Okay, well, let me check. I probably did then. That was probably not too long ago, I'm assuming. Do you have, let me see if we can find you here. It should be easy, right? In the A's. Oh, you're right. I do. I got you. Okay. Let's see what we can see here. Let's check this out. Alrighty. Oh, your Pluto jumped right out. Pluto at 20 degrees. You got a retrograding Pluto in Scorpio. Wow. Okay. Ooh, that would be some deeply psychological, strong energy, really intense energy. Yeah, and you even got a sun at 29 in water. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so is this your chart, your Aquarius rising? Just double checking. Aquarius rising, you got an Aries moon at 21 and your sun, yep, 29 degrees, July 21st, 1992. High level Canada. What's up, high level Canada? I remember that because I've never seen high level Canada before until I did your chart. Oh, you got a retrograde Mercury squaring your Pluto. I don't know why Mercury and Pluto today are big. Oh, I know why Mercury is. It's a Mercury day. Okay, that's why this big T square. Okay, so I think the thing, though, even though you've got that Pluto T square and stuff, I think this big opposition is kind of the Saturn, the talking and the communication with authority figures. That might be a thing, huh? Yeah, that can be quite tricky. Saturn in the first house, the retrograde Saturn. I think I was just talking about this. That can, and I don't know, it's me, Namira, if you're still here. I didn't ask you this, but when the folks have a retrograde Saturn, a lot of those people say they feel like they've been doing this, like they're reliving something. They feel like the life themes, the duty, the responsibility, the work, like they're reliving it, like they've done it before. That's just what yeah, that's what some of them have said. So you let me know if you feel like that's got some truth to it. Let me see what we got going on here. Okay. So values, income, money. All right. Okay. So you're going to have communications with partnerships. Okay. Might be romantic partnerships, can even be my kids, people that are significant to you, people that are really important. Because you got the sun and Sirius and Mercury going through your Taurus energy of values, but then there's a strong communication at the table, right? With money and values. And there being a connect of values and self-worth with the group energy. Yep. So again, children, fun, joy, creativity, and romance. And remember, our Leo energy is how we have a good time, the laughter. That's how we have a good time. It's like our happy place. So the partnerships can be a source of joy. Now, you also have your South Node going through your 7th house right now. And the Taurus energy is kicking up large because it's the values, right? And that's our partnerships, personal and professional. Let me see here. Okay. Let me see what we can see over here. See if this is anything that's gonna. Okay, protecting property and space. Okay, so that might come down to feeling when I have to defend something and protect something, brings out a fiery spirit. It might react into fights and disruptions, sometimes to the point of being overwhelmed by a passion. So that would come with people you're really closely bonded to. And I know that Pluto, because your Scorpio energy was just kind of really jumping out. And the node is angling. You see, like the North Node and the South Node would have just been making contact. And so there may have been some deep, intense emotional stuff that went on. And it may have revealed some wounds that you thought had already been healed. Because this Pluto over here, if you see this, is on your ascendant. Even though it is at 5:30 now, right? But it just began its retrograde. And your ascendant's 5:55, but because it's retrograding, you're feeling it now. So this can add a bit of a power to your physical body. Like, you could possibly even need less sleep right now. Now, this might be tricky though, because your Sirius is right here at 4 degrees, and this would represent how I feel nurtured. It can be food, specifically grains. Okay. So with the Pluto there, sometimes people find they have, with the Sirius, there can be more sensitivities. Now, this has a strong feminine quality to it. Family, home, and mom, really intense. And brings changes. So psychological, that's Pluto. It says I need to make some changes. There might be stuff from the past that you need to make changes with. But the shocks and the surprises, there might be revelations regarding home and family. This, of course, can be ancestry as well, just so like we're clear. But it's group energy, maybe even friends that feel like family members that we're actually friends with, even likely an authority figure. So sometimes we have parents who had to play both roles, right? That could be the thing. And so this is what's going on here. And you're going to, yeah, I would imagine you're already feeling all of that. Especially since your Juno is at 0 in air and Uranus is sitting right there. So this can bring about communications with partnerships. This can be sibling energy that might be shocking. And when we talk about it that way in terms of shocks, this can be just having casual conversations. It might be on the phone, might be online, might be, doing all that, email, snail mail, where we're just finding things out that are kind of, just out of the ordinary. But because it's all Aquarius energy that's lighting up in your chart and the stuff from the past, yeah. And Pluto jumped out. I'm saying that that's probably a big theme. And Venus right now is in the 4th house of home and family, and you've got all Gemini going through the 4th in your natal chart. So this is sibling energy and peers. This would be kind of like a fun, but really curious and creative. And Gemini is all about, it's kind of scattered. It's just focused on multiple different things. And so home and family and friends that might feel like family comes up again, but learning, always needing to be learning and communicating and sharing, and maybe even teaching, would be emotionally satisfying. So Venus creates an extra level of love for communicating and learning and sharing. I'm just looking at some other things here real quick. You just had Juno on the ascendant too. So partnerships kind of being lit up again. And even the health of those partnerships, I see over here. There's like an irritation. Again, home and family and group energy keeps coming up for you. So sometimes when we have Saturn in the Aquarius energy and that authority figure kind of stuff, this can be even, there can be, whether it's mom and dad or a boss at the job or just whoever is the authority in someone's life. But Jupiter also right now too is kind of jumping out, and that's in Cancer. So again, goes back to history and nurturing and mom energy, but partnerships keeps coming forward. Yeah, you don't want to get in trouble. That would make a lot of sense. And if you see the Aquarius energy with the authority figures, it's because it feels so shocking. It really kind of does affect the nervous system. So that's really difficult. It on it's like the anxiety level is like off the charts with that. And Saturn's really strong on Aquarian energy. So with that all said now, this Jupiter stuff, it's going to fast approach your partnerships. And I'm going to give you just a little thing here. You're going to have the Jupiter energy getting close to your sun this month. So that can create some recognition. It can create gifts and abundance. But again, this is home and family and emotions. Now, your health might be a thing because Jupiter has been going through the 6th house of your health, but your day-to-day routines, which creates an increase in my day-to-day routines, tasks, projects, work and health being primary, but home, big time. But it's the emotional health because you've got Cancer energy in your 6th house. So whether Whether you made the connection to that and in understanding how important it is for the emotional body to navigate good physical health, especially our gut. Maybe Jupiter kind of brought that to your attention. If it didn't, it might at this time. And if that's the case, then you can probably make some down to earth, like holistic changes because it's in the sixth house of Virgo energy. Yeah. Just make some practical common sense changes. And that would be for the work too. So with that said, then you're going to have Jupiter entering in your seventh house. So what that does is that increases partnership energy, significant one-on-one relationships. Okay. So whether that's children, because you got Leo there, whether it's authority figures, whether that's just finding my happy place, but partnerships normally, if for people, especially females, because Jupiter would be marriage material, the teaching is when you have Jupiter going through your seventh house, if you're thinking of getting married, like if you weren't thinking of it and all of a sudden you are, the teaching is to wait for Jupiter to get out of your seventh house. Don't do it while it's in your seventh house because it may have these very strong inclinations to be and to get married, but you always want to wait till it moves. Okay, Ashley, I see you. You'll be next, unless somebody else gave me their digits, and I don't think so. All right, Ashley. Okay, so real quick, let me answer this question. Is my ascendant ruler in the first house or the 12th? Okay, so let me show you your ascendant. Your ascendant, to be specific, is 5 degrees, 55 minutes in Aquarius. That's your ascendant. And the ruler of your ascendant is Saturn. You follow? So I use a tropical Placidus chart system. And whatever the degree is, whatever sign that is on the ascendant, that's your chart ruler. All right. So it's Saturn, that authority figure, boss energy, but it's also the modern day ruler, which is Aquarius. And where's your Aquarius? In your 12th house. So good question, because this might be, this is confusing because you've got them both right here. Your Uranus in the 12th in what? Capricorn energy. And it's at a communication degree conjunct Vega, which adds to the intensity and to the shocks and the surprises and to the authority figure, like being the ultimate authority. It's in the subtle 12th house, sensitive 12th house of Pisces. So that increases, you feeling like, okay, I don't want to get in trouble. That increases like their power and their authority. But here, being in your 12th speaks to maybe some other lifetimes of that being a thing for you. But the communication, cold, hard, and talking, and how their communication style. But Neptune being right next to it. So hopefully you find some help with that. So to answer your question, you have Saturn, the ruler of your Aquarius energy, in your first house. And also the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and that's in your 12th. Human beings, we're complex. It's just the bottom line. We are complex human beings. But it helps you to understand a little bit more and why your question made a whole lot of sense. Okay. Hello, my date of birth. Ashley, what's up? Are you still here? Ashley, if you're here, I'm going to get your chart on. But if you're not, that's fine too. You got to let me know that you're still here, though. I don't want to pull up a chart. Let me thumbs up the live stream. Did anybody else do that? Let me do that. That would be a good idea. That would be a good idea. Let's see what we got here. Ashley is here. Great. Okay, let's do your chart then. So I'm going to create. Have you seen your chart before, Ashley? I like to double check to make sure that it's your chart, July 21st. Wow. Interesting. You guys got you had same birthday, huh? That was pretty wild. But you're 1985, no problem. And we've got 4:53 p.m. Great. And we're talking Omaha. Omaha, Nebraska. All right. Oh, I got to spell it right. Hold on. And if I don't spell it right, they're going to let me know. They're going to be like, you're full of beans. So, Ashley, the chart they're showing me for you, let's verify this to make sure before I start reading anything. This is saying you are a Saggy on the ascendant, 4 degrees, a Virgo moon at 18, and a Cancer sun at 29. Woohoo! More strong Virgo energy. A lot of water in the 8th. Is this you? South node in the 12th. Ooh. And you've got boss energy, Saturn in Scorpio at the Jupiter degree in your 12th. Interesting. Oh, my Lord. Jupiter on your 3rd house cusp line. Wow. Holy smart, right? This might be tricky, though. A lot of flood of information. But yeah, I like when I think it's typically, let me see if you got anything that's creating. Oh, you got the nodes there. Okay. The nodes are squaring the 3rd house. Yep. Okay. But then you got Jupiter. Oh, that creates that balance. Okay. Yeah. I'm told it's not for the faint of heart. What's not for the faint of heart? The Jupiter on the 3rd house cusp line? Well, it balances out the way I see it, because this Jupiter would be, yeah. I mean, anxiety can be a thing here for sure. Nerves, the nervous system, like that can all get cranked up. Plus, your natal Uranus is a retrograding one. But then you have the nodes. Yep, they're throwing a big T-square to that. So it creates some stress and tension, and it might taper down the Jupiter effect a little bit. But normally, folks who have the Aquarius in that 3rd house, they have a very sharp, quick mind. They're usually, it's like lightning bolt type of energy. So you may get flashes of inspiration, whether it be words, ideas, great ideas, imagery. Jupiter can bring the images too. You even have a nice trine coming from Rigel up here. But Chiron is also part of that trine. And so this can be tricky. Chiron trining it, but it still can be tricky because this is about learning, speaking, writing, teaching. And this connects to all of this. So partnerships can be wonderful. There can be a great benefit to partnership energy and the ability, like confident kind of energy. Jupiter can bring some confidence. So I think that can be great. But you even have your Mercury in Leo. Wow. In the 9th house of more very courageous, confident energy. And thank God you have Virgo at the midheaven. We'll put it like that. I think it's a benefit, even though there is some square energy here, but the Virgo mind, boss energy at the midheaven and Mercury together, a strong communicator, but probably a logical one. But even the role of mom and dad kind of energy, mom possibly being the authority figure. There's always trying to fix something. You have a nice, strong earth trine to your moon and to your midheaven. That can be a great benefit. You've got earth in the earth houses, thank God, which I think is another big benefit, providing stability. So your north node in Taurus, for folks, that's your soul's goal. What are you here for? Is it just to make money? To buy and collect things? That's what Taurus energy is prone to do. It wants beautiful things. Beautiful, beautiful things. Having the Taurus there, It talks about striving for material independence, material stability. These are important themes. So the work connection to that gives you the ability to, well, I'm going to work for that because I want that. I want that stability. I want to see the material, tangible stability in my life. So good food, music, nature, it's really earthy stuff, but beauty's a big deal. Fine art, these people can have great voices even, but they're grounded and peaceful. Mhm. So the growth will come through developing patience and trusting the process and knowing that real progress is built step by step. That's kind of like part of that soul's goal, really deeply grounded energy. It's wonderful that your moon trines it. So there's something about you that's practical, logical. The mundane stuff is that Virgo energy, meaning I'm going to serve, like one-on-one kind of energy. How can I make this better? The Virgo, yeah, they think they're the fixer of the zodiac. They can come in, um, and make it better. Perfection is a big deal with Virgo. And so having it at the midheaven like that, yeah, that's why I said that boss energy. How can we make this better? And you got a strong support from your North Node. So I love this. I think that's great to have that in a person's chart. Some people have all this other great, I don't know, like their brains just work really differently, which you are going to have this here. You're authentic in the way that you communicate and the way that you think, and your ideas are all going to be strong. And this would be like online, this would be streaming, this would be anything with technology, by the way. Tech and technology would come up strong here. And learning about it, teaching about it. Yeah. You do have Pluto at 1 degree in Scorpio as well. But I feel like I should, yeah, your South Node talks about, because you have a South Node in Scorpio, I think this is our Scorpio energy can talk about vulnerabilities. And so whether you had a sense of, deep vulnerabilities and trauma and tragedies and stuff from the past, from another time, because you also carry the Saturn retrograde in your chart. So far, I think all of you who've had a reading today, this is so wild. I think all of you have had a retrograde Saturn, if I'm not mistaken. And these folks supposedly feel like they've lived this life before. Is this true? Now for your chart, this might be a very strong subconscious like undercurrent for you. But boss energy comes up again, and heavy burdens and duties. Scorpios really, like, these were our crusaders. These were the people who fought for a higher ideal, like they went to battle. This is like turf war type of energy. They were soldiers and shit. But yours is also in the 12th house of, like, you know, holy people, priests, nuns, people who prayed, right? Spirituality, religion. So the Crusades, there you go, right? Yeah. These were people who fought for God. At least that's what they were told. You're fighting for God. But the whole idea, yeah, this would be war and battle. And the North Node, peace, says, oh no, I want peace, damn it. I want peace, right? But I would imagine, and that if somebody, this is the kind of energy where people are like, well, I need that person on my team. Yes, they're all about peace, but if we got to go to battle, I want them on my side, damn it. I don't want to go up against them. I don't want to go up against him. I don't want to go up against her. Like, no way. This would be that energy. And for you, it might even be with words because it's at the 15 degrees. So there might be that strong polarity of, yeah, I want peace. I can use peaceful words. I have peaceful ideas. But at the same time, I can go the other route. And remember, Jupiter is a thing here. Yeah, Jupiter is a thing in that communication on that cusp line. But I'm curious what you think about your Saturn. Do you feel like you've lived this life out before? Some people feel like they do. Hey, one wise lady, I see you. How are you? Good to see you. Laura Wolf, I see your birthday. Laura Wolf, I need your birth time and your birth location. You got those digits? Very analytical. Yep, some people, yep, very analytical. Some say that it can get to critical. overly critical even, but analytical. Yeah, these are our detail people for sure. Striving for perfection. Absolutely. You ever see Michael Jackson's chart? Oh my God, he's got a lot of Virgo. And it's like, oh, no wonder. He was a Virgo sun. Yeah. I'm like, no wonder. Holy shit. Dude was trying to perfect it, perfect it, perfect it. He just went off the wall, right? Absolutely. So yeah, here you are, your Mars and your Sun together, taking actions with feelings and emotions, all in your 8th house. Really deep energy. These people have a really strong connection to the past. And it might not necessarily mean it's, again, another strong undercurrent that you have. It runs throughout your whole chart. You got water on the 4th house cusp line. You got water in the 12th. It doesn't show that you have any planets in Pisces, but at 21 degrees, that's a Jupiter degree, 4th house, the past, history. Again, these prayer, meditation, but fantasy, sci-fi. I might feel better, like emotionally, if I am traveling. I might feel better emotionally if I'm like on vacation, or just going somewhere that is like a foreign land, even around different cultures. There might be something there that you find very satisfying in emotion and giving you some emotional stability even. And that would be a really big difference with all the Aries energy you have in the 4th. Even though there's only two objects in this chart that I see here, Aries is really fiery. It can be very fiery and needing to change things around in the home, very active in the home, but initiating in the home and needing a lot of its own independence. Oh, yeah. All right. So real quick, let me move on. Let me see. Yeah. So for right now, it's got to be interesting having Neptune and Saturn in your 4th house. And then Mars right now at 20 degrees. Mars probably got you, though, about a week ago when it was touched on your Eris. Eris's anger. She's a female version of Mars right there. You see her? Got a circle around her? Yeah. About a week ago, Mars would have touched on her. And you would have been something got you. Something got, where it was like, what the hell? And it could be something just being easily irritated and impatient. It could have been that as well. So now what's going to be happening is the creative stuff. Mars is going to go into your 5th house of creativity, joy and romance, and children even. Having a good time, but being creative. So I think for you, for like the next month, I would take advantage of that. Mars going through your 5th house. 5th house. And then, yep, it's going to, not shortly after that, it'll go right into your Taurus energy. Sometimes with the Taurus in the 5th, how do we create? Taurus in the 5th. How do we create? Yes, you want beauty. What about beautiful food? Taurus in the 5th house. Cooking, baking, tasting, all that good stuff with our Taurus energy. Oh, I was in the Peace Corps. That makes sense. Yeah, you got water in the water houses. You got Neptune in your 1st house. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so Laura Wolf. Happy Princess. What's going on, Happy Princess? Hello. I had to unexpectedly go to the ER last week. Last week was a mess. You had to do it. Oh, oh, you know what? Yeah, that would have been Mars training your Uranus, because your Uranus is at 14 and then it triggered your Eris. Yeah, it hit your 14-degree Uranus first, the shock and the surprise, and had a sudden disruption. Yep. Yeah, you are welcome. Okay, so I think Laura Wolf was next. I'm also dealing with a Virgo. Let me double check though before I keep babbling, and I want to make sure I have the order right here. Yeah, so Laura, and then Laura says I'm dealing with a Virgo. Well, I mean, we need Virgos. Absolutely. They have the eye for the detail. We truly, truly, truly need Virgos. I have a lot of respect for Virgo energy. I think they're necessary. I think it's I mean, everybody would argue, of course, every sign is necessary, but man, with Virgo, if we didn't have the Virgo stuff, I think, especially now. All right, Laura, I'm drawing up your chart. You're still here? Let me know that you're still here in the comments. Or otherwise, I just go to the next name. And if there's no next name, then I'm just going to call it a day and say I'll see you all next week. We have I'm usually live every Saturday, but this Saturday, every other Saturday, I should say, this Saturday is our astrology class. It's for beginners, it's for intermediate, it's for higher level, it's for all levels. The way that I teach it, there's a little something for everybody. Everything is recorded, so you could jump in at anywhere and you can watch it at your own pace at any time. If you want in on that, anybody, just reach out to my email. It's on the screen. So Laura Wolf says my birthday is November 17th. Is that correct? (1970). And your birth time. Yeah, when you guys do your stuff, try to put it all together. That really makes it easier to just kind of put it all together. I see this says 6 a.m. Was this on the birth certificate, or did somebody tell you that it was at 6 a.m.? And Dayton, Ohio. Another Ohio birth today, huh? Have you seen your chart before? Let's see what they're showing us, and you got to let me know. All right, Laura, this is showing that you are a Scorpio on your ascendant and telling me you're a Cancer moon at 15 degrees. Is that you? Double Scorpio with a Venus in Scorpio, a Jupiter in Scorpio? Wow, lots of Scorpio. Cancer moon and a Scorpio rising. Can you confirm, is that you? I'm looking at the Uranus at 11 degrees. Wow. Your birth time was on your birth certificate. Thank you. Okay. Excellent. You are welcome, Ashley. Wow. So you've got a lot of 11s going on in this chart, sister. That is unconventional energy. Different, unique, a little bit on the rebellious side, especially the friends and the group energy, 11th house, astrology and technology. You've got Uranus at 11 degrees, conjunct. Okay, so this would be unconventional relationships, groups, friends that become more than just friends, very different, super individualistic. Yeah, but you also have that conjunct Pandora's box. The rebellious energy, this would kind of be the energy that says, I'm drawn to these people or in this person because of their uniqueness, because they're so different. Very unconventional stuff, very unconventional. Now, the rebelliousness here is strong because it's in the house of rebelliousness. So this can be the house where we are rebelling against government type of energy, politics, maybe even whether it's, Uranus says, I'm the authority of my own life, damn it. And then look across the way, exactly at the opposition. You've got Eris. She is the female warrior goddess energy. At the warrior, she's Mars's sister, but at 11 degrees, that combination is freaking potent. It's lightning bolt added to like easily, our anger and our willingness to fight. Whew, fiery, super spicy, super fiery, electrified energy. Wow. And you even have Mercury right on the second house cusp. So is this you before I go any familiar or any further? Oh, she already said that. Okay, great. All right. So with all this said, now the Mercury on the second house cusp line, Sagittarius energy. Okay, these folks, there's a thirst for learning and knowledge, possibly teaching, higher education, even this is justice and law. Freedom is big here. Independence again comes up in your chart. Freedom and independence, really big. But communicating, like freedom of my mind, freedom of speech, really big. And my ability, like curiosity, is like large. But curious on the connections of the spirituality to my own health, possibly. And maybe, if you're fortunate, being able to work in that sort of a realm and in that field, because Chiron, healer of wounds, is over here at 6 degrees. Again, 6 degrees is a Virgo degree. So it talks about holistic modalities, holistic healing, usually gut stuff. And you have this strong trine to that. The wounded healer becomes, it's exactly the words, the wounded healer. But myself and my body, working with children possibly, because it's in the 5th house. But having a good time and fun and joy and laughter. Yep. The wounds. So with this connection with the Saggy energy, Saggy likes to travel. And you got Mercury. Mercury likes to travel too. So it can be short distance travel, get on the road and drive, can be let's get in the airplane and fly. Let's really go across the water type of stuff. Big time. But teaching, learning, communicating, writing, can even be creative writing. It's possibly even music. I mean, you even have Neptune and Saggy here at 0, big time. So some really creative tendencies here come in with this energy. So with all that said, let's see. Yeah, that Scorpio stuff, the Jupiter is jumping out. So you just had Jupiter trining Jupiter. And now you're going to have this midpoint coming up, the 24 degrees. Jupiter is going to trine that as well. So this mixture, this midpoint, I don't know if you're aware of this. So in your second house, 24 degrees, the Pisces degree, you have Jupiter and Neptune midpoint. So this is, again, a mixture of the big picture, of seeing the big picture. It can even bring about understanding and forgiveness and healings. In the Scorpio, healing would be extra strong here. And this is big because your sun is at 24 degrees. So the way you stand out and communicate and radiate, again, if I didn't say it, Scorpio, really psychic energy, and something intense, possibly even by your appearance, your eyes, you may come across as being really intense, but the midpoint and your sun, the way you creatively express comes across. This may be very confident and bold energy. So Jupiter brings confidence. Then there's the soul's knowledge and history that the Neptune energy can bring, and the depth. Wow. There's a lot here with depth and meaningfulness, but intense. So this talks about the spiritual side of life, but again, the occult can be a big deal. Bringing forward some of those natural law type of energy. Maybe even some humanitarian stuff at this time. It's a possibility. Inspiring others with their creative projects. And possibly even feeling that you need some inspiration. Maybe engaging in activities that can benefit others on a large scale. And anytime Neptune gets activated, again, sound comes up, music comes up. But for some, it's, because writing and communicating, creative writing can be in there. But, we think, all the digital stuff and movies and poetry and who knows how you use your creativity. Let us know how you use it. So sometimes we can be painting something simple like that, but maybe even some charitable activities and exploring your own layers of spiritual growth. A profound connection with your visions and your ideals, and even your hopes and dreams for the future, but enriching your pursuits with depth and meaning because it's that Scorpio stuff and your sun. So there's something here for you that when Jupiter, let me give you a timeline real quick. I don't know. This is kind of just what jumped out. So we're going to follow it. Jupiter's right now at 18. So this isn't going to be that far away. You're going to start really feeling it like in a week or two. May 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. So you'll start feeling it. Oh, hold on. Oh, I don't know if I just unplugged something. My foot hit something. Yeah. So it's going to start then about the 15th and it's going to last. So you got a time, you got a window here and you kind of want to function within that window because then Jupiter leaves and it goes into Leo, which is fine. Oh, you're going to have a nice burst here. Oh, you're going to have Venus and Jupiter joining together here. Oh, well, that's kind of nice because you'll have a Venus trine Venus. No wonder this is such a big deal. Yeah, you're going to have Venus trining your natal Venus, which is nice. It can be gifts, it can be beauty, but emotions, family, and connections, even thoughts about the future, maybe even travel plans at this time. But maybe it's just a deep connection with feminine energy in your life. But home and family can be a thing. And you do have some water in your fourth house. All right, I don't see anything. Yeah, the nodes are going to be at 3 by then. Wow. Holy crap, the nodes are going to start to move fast for all of us. So here you go. We're going to give you a timeline of, we're starting the big connection, right? The last week of May. Yeah. Things start to ramp up because you'll have Venus touching your moon and your Venus and your moon trying each other. So you're going to have some deep, maybe it's like a family reunion type of energy, right? I mean, it's possible. Maybe you're going to visit somebody like that you have to travel to, but there's some strong connections with feminine energy. Jupiter can represent authority figure, but also travel. Okay. And so you have that strong in your chart. So again, the last week of May, and you're going to have it with you until the beginning of June. So that takes it to about June, I don't know, the first 7 days of June. Okay, you'll have that energy to work with, which is nice because it is a feel-good energy. We're confident. We're making deep connections with people. We might be talking about our future, might make just some deep connections. And again, those deep connections and conversations and communications, because at this time we will have Mercury in Cancer energy of family, but sound and music for sure, and using that creative. And, for right now too, especially with Neptune for all of us, with Neptune in Aries energy, I think it's an opportunity, and you'll have Neptune in your fifth house, right? It's an opportunity to use the sound, additional different ways of using sound for healing. Because for you, if you look at this chart, I have June 8th here. See this Neptune? This Neptune is touching your Chiron, and the Chiron is a wound about your right to exist, even. Okay, the wounded healer, right? I started talking about it. But this Neptune will be touching it. And that's where Neptune's retrograde, actually, it's going to start a retrograde. And so it starts to feel even stronger then. And so that's going to be like in July. Okay. Sound becomes really strong. We really internalize it. And the power of it when Neptune goes retrograde will be even more like all the good feels inside of our body. And because it's a Neptune in Aries, yeah, it'll chill down some of the spicy, fiery, independent energy that we might have. Yeah. All right. So, one wise lady. Do you want me to take a quick look? And then, yeah, that might be it, huh? Which is totally fine. My sister passed. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well, okay. Okay. Well, my condolences, and may she be experiencing peace. Absolutely. Oh, you are welcome, for sure. I mean, that's the whole point, is to somehow, you know, I mean, I don't know, anytime I've ever been going through some crazy stuff, when I saw it on paper, when I would see the astrology, it always helped. I always felt like it helped me, so I figured it could help other people too. I know it's not for everybody, right? But for those who feel like it can, and that it does, that's what it's for. Um, hey G33, I see you there. So one wise lady, I don't know if you're still here. You technically would be next. Do you want me to quickly look at your chart? Do you want me to take a look or no? Hey there. Hey revolutionary, I see you. How the heck are you doing? All right, one wise lady. Let's go and check this out here. Let me go find, where did it go? Shouldn't be hard. I don't have too many O's in this new system. Here it is. It's coming right up. Oh, that's what happened. My thing went down. Okay. All right, let's get you on the screen, one wise lady. There you are. And we know this is your chart because I've looked at yours before. So you said it's like the same as yours, huh? Let me check yours out. Oh, I see the difference. Yeah, similar. Similar. Yep. Interesting that you both have Chiron at 6. Wow. Well, then you heard what I said for her, right? With the Neptune there? Yeah, that would definitely be a thing. And the placement. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, you both do have. Oh my God. You both have the Eris, the Uranus. Yeah, I didn't even pay attention to her birth time. I mean, I did, but anyway. Yeah, what do you guys, like a day apart or something? But you're both in different locations. Big time. That's so wild. This is Australia. Another retrograde Saturn. Holy crap, it's a retrograde Saturn day. It's the only thing that keeps me sane. I know, right? I totally understand that. I've been there. I totally understand that. There have been times you get up in the middle of the night, you can't go back to sleep, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go pull up the astrology. It's like the only thing that takes me back to sleep. Thankfully, it hasn't been like that recently. So yeah, same thing for you with that Jupiter, because you both, yep, you have a Jupiter Neptune point and your sun is at 25, right? So same thing. Yep. The Jupiter up in the sky is now at 19, but it's going to leave your 8th house. And that will help. That will help, I promise. There'll be more optimism, even though it'll still be in Cancer energy. It's going to, you should start feeling it already, because it's close to your ninth house cusp line, but getting it out of the eighth, um, well, you gotta, yeah, especially you want to get Jupiter off your freaking moon, sitting on your moon. Your moon's at 21. So once we move your chart up and you can get Jupiter off of your moon, but I feel like when it is there, it should be something profound for you in terms of, hopefully a nice release of some sort and the ending of a cycle, because that's what the moons are. They represent cycles that we go through. So hopefully that moon can do that for you with the Jupiter touching it. And so I would expect a release, and hopefully a healing on some level comes. But then Jupiter is going to dip into the ninth house. I talked about it, but I didn't say when it was. Didn't I do that? You're already in it. Yeah, you're already in that. But it walks away from your moon by the end of the month. So you've got to like May 24th, 25th, 26th, right? And then on the 27th, it gets to 23 degrees, which means it's now officially in your ninth house. And that's where we start to be a little bit more optimistic. We actually start being able to just get little glimpses and insights about the future for ourselves. And then it goes fast from there on in. Once Jupiter, once we get to July, Jupiter's then in our Leo energy, still in your ninth house, both really optimistic. And this is fun, creativity, maybe even, just feeling like a kid again in whatever way that is for you. Because, you're going to have, when that happens, when Jupiter finally makes a move, it's going to trine your Neptune here. And your Neptune's in your 12th house. You see? So that timeline on that's a bit further down, but let me see. What do you have here? Yeah, you're going to have Venus and Jupiter together. Yep, just like for her. Yep. It's pretty funny how you guys have so much alike. You're right. It is a big wow. It's like, holy moly. But this is a nice time. This June, the beginning of June for you, you're going to have Venus and Jupiter together. Trining your sun. So hopefully the weeks leading up to it, you're starting to really feel like you're like, okay, there's a change, there's a difference. And sometimes the change is definitely, it's bad when you really want shit to change, right? Some people in life is just going so well, and they don't want it to change. But when we know we're ready for change, and thank God astrology promises change, right? You can see it on paper. Then it's like, oh, thank God there's going to be a change. Interesting too is, yeah, Sirius is at 25 there too for you. Okay. Yeah. So something nurturing, something quite nurturing. But I'm going to get to your Jupiter crossing into the fire. Venus will go there first, which will be nice. Okay, so this is like June 10th, 11th, 12th. Venus will be at 29 degrees, so a critical degree in emotions and family, the past. Let me see, do you have... yeah, so I want you to just keep in mind, though, okay, now when Venus gets to that 0 degrees, and even here at the 29 degrees, she does square some stuff that you have over here. You have Sedna at 1, and you have Vertex at 1. Now, I don't know if you've ever paid attention to Sedna. I'm thinking you probably have, especially since your Vertex is there. There would have been moments in your life where you're like, what the hell was that? Because Vertex talks about fated energy, where events happen or where people just happen to come into your life. And it just kind of seems to come out of it seems and feels fated, right? Just keep in mind that when it's connected to your Sedna. Now, this is going to be deep for a second, all right? It's connected to your Sedna. Now, if you know anything about Sedna, she's got a tragic past. It's not that she's tragic necessarily, it's just she kind of had some tragic events. Hers really is a story of where she felt betrayed, and she was betrayed. And it wasn't just one time, so that's why her story is so tragic. So she's got betrayal on different levels with people that she was definitely bonded with, and that's what makes her betrayals so freaking deep. Um, because it's vertex that's connected to this, I want you to, well, it's not what I want. I feel like this is just what I'm supposed to share, to be honest. The vertex is like your second ascendant. This is for everybody. Our vertex is like our second ascendant. Some even refer to it as our super ascendant. So what that means is it somehow has become part of your identity. So if you're not aware of it, having this here can kind of reinforce that for you. Now, the beauty of Sedna, she is a goddess. She is an Inuit goddess, revered even to this day. When you talk to people who work with water, and whether it's vegetation and fish, like they to this day honor Sedna. They recognize that there is some power there, and that it should be you even like make you give a gift to Sedna because Sedna has a lot of power. And it's the power, the desire, because your Sedna is in Taurus. Okay. So again, it comes down to detachment energy, and detaching from something like Sedna, this goddess energy who went through so many traumas and betrayals, and leaving the past in the past with the Sedna energy. Because having that there connected to that secondary ascendant, that super ascendant type of thing, and possibly affecting your well-being and your health, possibly because it's in their sixth house of health and well-being. It's really here. This is a project of here, project of the mind, project of perceptions, and projects of rewriting my past, because I need to survive in the present. So it doesn't mean that it erases it or takes away from it. It just means that this. Oh my Lord, how long was I out? Uh, did I don't know what happened. Can you guys hear me? I don't know what happened, this volume. It said the microphone was off. The microphone's not off, but StreamYard said that the mic wasn't on, and now I clicked it, and now it's back on. So I don't know how long that took. Oh, just a minute. Thank you, because I just feel like I said way too much anyway. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know how it went off. I haven't touched really anything but my astrology shit. It's got to be a StreamYard thing. That explains some of the mysteries we've had in the past. How revolutionary when on the starry nights and I'd be talking for like 15 minutes and I don't even know it. Anyway, so because I don't look at the StreamYard, I'm reading a chart. My brain's not over there. So with all that, I'll repeat this last bit, which is June 10th, 11th, and 12th. Venus coming through. She's going to connect with Sedna and the vertex. Okay. So there might be some incidents, and this can be people at the JOB. If you are in contact with people, whether you work out of the home or wherever, there can just be something that occurs, and it's just to show us we thought we processed, we thought we got through it, or to initiate the processing in the healing process on whatever level that you're at, wherever you're at. Okay. Now, once that moves on for you, the Jupiter energy comes in even stronger after that, because it's going to connect. It's going to connect with the Sedna here and the vertex and the super ascendant, but Jupiter is masculine energy. So it is males, okay? Or it is strong energy, regardless of gender, that comes through. So there might be a reminder, right? And see, there it is. There's that Jupiter. 29 degrees, it's going to start talking. So this may be like the very last 10, 15 days of June. Now, Venus done with her stuff, but now here's Jupiter bringing on some stuff, and a communication is going to come across. So we know it's a conversation. Now it's in the 9th house, so it speaks about the future, right? So this can be nothing more than like, oh, maybe I'm going to be doing some traveling. Maybe I'll be talking about travel plans, but maybe in my heart of hearts and my thinking about desires, maybe there's some other stuff that comes up. Okay. But Neptune gives the possibility for healing. Now, there's lots of layers to healing. So whatever it is, right? Grief, anger, whatever all those stages of mourning are, the Neptune can give understanding. We somehow connect dots we couldn't connect before. Neptune rules perceptions, all right? Perceptions and the beliefs. So something here, I think profound, actually, because it happens multiple times in your chart. It happens with Venus, it happens with Jupiter, and Neptune too. So I think overall, this should be a pretty fascinating time for you. And I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy, but I do know with Jupiter going through your 9th, it does bring a layer of confidence and more optimism. And who the hell doesn't need that? I think we all do. Oh God, the electrical issues. It's the damn, I know, tech and electrical. It's just, I just don't want it to start up for me. Yeah. Again, remember, you're welcome for the heads up, but just remember, there can be very beneficial energy at this time as well. Okay. There can be. It's up to you. Okay, so revolutionary evolution. Are you still? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. G3 was here next. All right, so what time is it? 12:48. Okay, so G3 is next. G3, are you still there? If not, I got 10 minutes left. G3, you were next. If you're still here, I'll squeeze you in real quick. G3, hello, are you there? Let me see what's going on with this dang thing. Yeah. G3 said I'm here. Okay, gotcha. Let me get you into the thing. And then you're going to be the last one for today. All right. We were here yesterday around the same time. Well, no, yesterday it was 2 hours later. But I had folks that I just couldn't get to, and I told them, I had their digits, they gave them to me and everything, and I said, well, and now, yeah, they're all busy today, and it's fine. That's perfectly fine. Look at that. Got you. Wonderful. Woohoo. Yep. You're welcome. All right, so Jupiter and your moon have just jumped out at me. Why is that? What's going on, right? That really, I don't know why. I think that's your moon, I think, jumps out all the time, right? Yeah. I think every time I pull this chart up, the moon comes flying out. So do you feel like, because that 13 degrees, you have Vega and Sirius that actually create like a T-square to your moon, actually. Yeah. So normally Aries energy can feel other than some of the obvious Aries stuff and maybe always wanting to start things. Because there's this strong T-square energy, yeah, maybe you feel like that gets challenged a lot, because it is very powerful stuff that challenges it, actually. Vega's really powerful in general. And that could be like an authority figure. Duties, work, responsibilities, you know, all work and no fun. So maybe it is a balance, having Uranus in the karma energy there. Yeah, maybe it is a balance. So learning comes up. Yep, you've got Uranus over here sitting at 0, but what you probably, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, you have at 2 degrees in Gemini, Uranus is triggering this right now. Maybe I did talk about this. This is Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. This is the daughter of Ra, the sun god Ra. She is a warrior goddess. Sekhmet is a warrior goddess as well as a goddess of medicine. She talks about learning. So learning would be huge because she's learning and she's in the learning sign, the sign of curiosity, Gemini, learning and sharing, learning and being transformed by experiences through deep change. It may be death, a cleansing through suffering, leading to healing and rebirthing process. So you got Uranus at 0. And we, just so everybody's clear too, Sedna's coming through strongly because Sedna is conjunct Uranus. So the last chart I looked at, yeah, that's the other reason too why Sedna is also really strong right now, is because Uranus is, yeah, conjunct Sedna. So we think about past betrayals and maybe communications with peers and neighbors and coworkers and siblings, but things we're probably learning about that we just might not have known of prior. And this may even trigger a wound in information, a wound in sharing, a wound in learning and speaking and communicating. So the Uranian energy, I don't know if I talked with you about this before, but Uranus is going to pass that up. So that's not, it's going to go to like 4 or 5 degrees, and then it retrogrades. Now you have something at the 5 degrees as well in Gemini. So let me give you a timeline on this. Roughly September. Ooh, that's kind of a jump. So it's September-ish, like the first week of September, first 2-3 weeks of September, Uranus is going to begin its retrograde and does this right here on this object you have at 5 degrees. And this is Orius or Orius, Orius. This is a centaur, the centaur that was killed by Hercules. So this has to do with talking and learning and communication. So it could have to do with school and writing, teaching. But in general, this energy talks about wounds from the past. So it's related to Chiron, the wounded healer. It shows another perspective in the wounds that we have. Sometimes it gives us the understanding of why the wounder or the perpetrator, why the wounder acted the way they did. So, because you have a Chiron in Gemini as well, right? This would be something that would have been when you were extremely small. Some of the Chiron energy can be back in history, like, before we've incarnated. This can be something that is a carryover, we'll put it like that. Like a carryover wound. People with Chiron sometimes, yeah. A belief, a lack in confidence in the way I talk and speak, maybe even learning. But again, this would have been a carryover because at that age, and yeah, usually at this age, we're less than a year old at this location on a person's chart. So maybe a late speaker, a late talker. So when Uranus goes retro. This energy right here, this Orius, Orius, Uranus usually is a consciousness raising experience. It kind of opens our eyes to something we just weren't aware of before. So in the sign of Gemini, the multitasker, being scattered, the love of learning, or the wound over learning. But once we feel more comfortable in it, we see the value in it, right? The learning and the experiencing, but then the sharing, putting the information back out there, because you have a love of it anyway, because of the Gemini in your second house cusp line. So there will be a love of it. But there just might be some sensitivities. I'm not really overly concerned about them though in your chart, because you've got Mercury here, and Mercury at a Mercury degree. So coworkers and siblings and neighbors and peers is really strong. And that's going to be the added details that you probably needed here when Uranus goes retrograde in September. 5 degrees can be creative stuff, but it can also be a romantic partner. It can be children. Okay, but a creative form of expression, how I'm creatively expressing. So communication and talking and learning and teaching and speaking is prominent, but something consciousness raising where I'm connecting the dots, whether it's the way you communicate, the way other people communicate to you. Yeah. And so maybe there's some more, just more stuff from the past that's coming up. And since you have Cancer energy, and you even have 1 degree Sirius energy, which talks about the past, but nurturing feminine energy, the lineage, ancestry even, Cancer goes back to like very tribal energy, very tribal, like who we identify with, right? The homeland, the mother country, and you even have Mars conjunct it too. They're both at 1. It's kind of wild. This is all going to be connected, because the 3rd house is what Mercury rules, is what Gemini rules. So all of this, your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and all that freaking energy you have in Gemini, and part of the energy that you have in Cancer, and having Sirius and Vega squaring your moon ancestry. Your moon is in the 12th house, right? Yeah. What's this symbol? You've got this right here. This is, I forget, I have so many this is Merlin. You have Merlin at 15. Oh, Merlin says feeling guilty or responsible for something that went wrong. Something that something you weren't able to foresee, but feeling like you should have been able to foresee it, because it's Merlin, right? Possibly somebody gives somebody bad advice, which results, in maybe a not so desirable outcome. And so there can be some guilt about that. Some people have even told me with the Merlin that there's a connection to having Merlin's kind of energy and skills and power in the past, and maybe doing something they shouldn't have done with that kind of energy, and then feeling like a remorse in this time, in this present day reality. Therefore, they feel very hesitant and even feel as though they should never dabble, because they abused their power in the past and they feel bad about it. So I don't know if this makes any sense for you. Some people connect with it really deeply, but this possibly can result in an altered state of consciousness, looking for answers in non-traditional or occult areas in life. In your 12th house, for sure, the occult. The 12th talks about the subconscious and past lives. And you even have vertex there at 23. Anyway, I could go on all day about this chart. The vertex, again, I was just talking about this in another chart. Sometimes this is considered our second ascendant. So your ascendant is Taurus at 19, but your second ascendant, well, actually some call it super ascendant, that 23 degrees is really unique, something distinctive, leadership qualities in the 12th house. Very fascinating. And I might even have said this before. I'm going to say it again, because I'm just absolutely fascinated with Michael Jackson's chart. But this is his south node. He has his south node in Aries at 23 degrees. Matches your south node or your your vertex. Your vertex. And these are nodes of fate. I said nodes. This is a point of fate. How about that? Fated energy, group energy, friends. This is astrology. It is science. You think Aquarius and think Uranus when you see 23 degrees. Very unconventional. And so just people out of the blue or occurrences out of the blue, little surprises. Hopefully they're surprises that you like. Hopefully they're beneficial. I am seeing that they likely are. You have a nice trine to your 5th house cusp line. A nice trine energy. So it can be perceived as being beneficial. In the galactic center, it creates a nice grand fire trine for you, because even Regulus is part of this, because there's a lot of energy. 26, 29, 26, bam, 23. Wow. Yeah, so the moon in the 12th, something with the family is deep, right, in the history and the ancestry. And you even have your freaking North Node in your 12th too. Yeah, loaded 12th house, just loaded. Whew, okay, so now we are at our end of the live stream for today. But who knows? You never know. I might be live again later tonight. Who knows? Not late, but I'm trying to do my stuff earlier and earlier because it just works out so much better for me. So I'm trying to stick with every Saturday and Tuesdays. And on Saturdays, it's every other Saturday because we switch it with astrology classes and with private lives. A private lives is the same thing we're doing right now, except we do it somewhere else where we can really talk. You know, when you're looking at your chart and you're like, oh, damn, this is some deep shit. You don't want any, it's private, right? So that those private lives are very small groups, very small. They're limited seating. And if anybody's ever interested, just drop me an email, allastrology@email.com. Okay. And the astrology class is every second Saturday of every month. All the other Saturdays, the other 2 Saturdays or 3 Saturdays sometimes, we do this on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. on the channel. Okay. And I have been doing it for way longer than I want to admit. So, that is wild. What's wild? My moon always does. It does. It jumps right out. I have been told I have Egyptian royalty in my bloodline. Oh, well, then next time, maybe we should look at more of your Egyptian stuff. I have a whole lot of Egyptian stuff we could look at. I sang before speaking. Oh my God, yeah, I could totally see that. Interesting. Well, that's good. You are welcome. MD Dad. All right, well, you're going to have to come back again, MD Dad. We're ending now. But yeah, I called on you yesterday and I think you disappeared. You know, some people don't have time. It's just like a fun in and out thing. I get it. With that said, we're done. This live stream is over. And you'll catch me next time. If you go on to All Astrology YouTube channel, my page, my main page, you can, on one of my posts, just go to where it says post, click on that, and then there's like a schedule there. It's handwritten. It's a little messy, but it just kind of repeats everything I just said. Okay? For anybody who's interested. All right, everybody, you take care. I hope this has helped. And as you go about your day, just kind of, what do they say? Keep calm and carry on. Just go to Neptune, man. Go to Neptune. Use the music, use the sound to kind of establish some healing and some peace. All right. Bye-bye. Again? That's so cool.